Jonathan Sterritt is our next speaker.
We're just going to do it.
All right, hold on. Jonathan's our next speaker. I'm going to get you set up, so why don't you introduce yourself first?
Hey, guys. Yeah, if you guys have Google Gemini and you guys have it on your phone, pull it out. It's going to be a little interactive experience tonight. If you have not met the people at your table, meet them. This is not going to be an individual experience. It'll be a group experience. Oh, my gosh. Okay, I can do hard things. Hi, everybody. How we feeling? Yeah? All right. Okay. Very good. Well, as Lorraine said, I'm Jonathan Sterritt. My business is social alignment, and I'm a AI creative strategist and system architect. Really, what you guys need to know is my whole mission and purpose is to help all of you gain that permanent 3-day weekend using AI. Who would like a permanent 3-day weekend, save 10 to 12 hours per week, yeah? And do it reliably? Yes, right. Okay, very good. Well, that's what we're going to do here today, and I'm going to do something a little different. This is going to be fast. I don't have enough time, but I want to give you guys so much value today. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to start. We already did this. I kind of saw who's ever used Gen AI image generating tools like Gemini, Nano Banana. We've got a few people. Love that for us. Love that for everybody. I'm a lot of things, but like I said, I'm here to save you guys a whole day of work so that you can have that permanent 3-day weekend. Fun fact, I like wrestling. But I want to get into the value. I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff. I have the Hello Henderson with Mr. Haas over there. This is really exciting over here, guys, by the way. Like, I'm super stoked. We help people with a lot of different things, live production being one of them, and doing this with Haas and Lorraine, and being able to give you guys not just a space to come and hear people talk, but we want to hear you talk. We want to give you platforms to talk about your business, to make it easy and accessible, to make your voices be heard, get the brand that you work so hard on, the spotlight that it deserves. So I'm really, really thrilled to be a part of that. But like I said, we're going to go in. There's going to be more that I want to give you than I have time for, but I've got a plan. Don't worry. I learned my lesson on the QR code, so there's a bigger one. Scan that QR code. Everything, plus like 100 AI tools, over 50 prompts I've compiled personally for you guys. Everything I go through tonight will be in this guide. There's going to be a lot of cool things in that resource document, so make sure if you take a second, download it. It's just a Notion form, and you'll see a list of things. We're going to get everybody on the same page here so that we all know that we're going to go fast. In fact, everybody take your hand like this, and then just buckle your seatbelt for me. Thank you. Okay, so this is going to have a couple things that I want to point out to you. First thing is going to be my full master Nano Banana guide. So everything I can't cover here today, right? All like a little bit of the nuance and some of the different circumstances is all going to be in that first document, which is great. The second thing I got for you guys tonight is every prompt that I'm going to show on this screen tonight, and like 50 other prompts that I love that would help you guys in your business, whether you're in tech, in fitness, in medical, whatever I could think of that would fit this community. I try to curate a document for you guys there that would serve you, and you can try it out, play around with it, play around tonight at your table. There's a place to ask me questions if you guys do want to follow up with me and learn more about what we do at Social Alignment, the cool things that we're building, the cool things that we're generating. You can schedule some time with me so we don't have to take up all of this value time that we have right now. And then also there's a cool little new thing in there. It's the photo booth. Now, I like the idea of in real life experiences. I like the idea of coming out and not just being spoken to, but I want to interact. I want you guys to interact. So what we're going to do is throughout the night and throughout the next month, that photo booth will be up on it'll be live. You guys can like start to ooh and ah as you guys get to that. And over the next month, I want you to play around with these prompts. Submit them to the photo booth. And next month, I will come back. And we will have a whole like voting kind of like top 10, and we will vote on the best generation of the month, and I'll buy your coffee for a week. How about that? So just a little incentive for you guys to get in there. But we're going to start right away. I have 4 things that I want to do today. Number 1 is I just want to get everyone familiar with Gemini and some of the basic things that you can do if you've never played with an image generation tool before. This is going to be a really powerful first step for you. I am going to talk a little bit about the director's mindset. I have an acting background. If you guys couldn't tell, I like to be on stage and in front of a camera. So we're going to talk a little bit about how I use that to apply it to creating a prompt system that is really easily repeatable, and it really has served me well when you are... I agree. Thank you, AI. See, yeah. And then I do want to, if we have time, I don't know if we'll have time, but find me. This is a great spot. If you want to come ask a question, or if you want to come and talk about your business after the show, we're doing a pre-show and a post-show. And we're going to do a thing called Open Alley. So come and blast your business for 2 minutes or a minute, however long the spinner says. But this is a good chance for us to ask questions. Now, I can't talk about generative AI without talking a little bit about AI responsibility. I just mean to say, we want to use AI the right way. Okay, it's not about replacing humans. It's not about creating things that we don't have the permission to create. It's about expanding your creativity. That's what I'm all about. Using this ethically and responsibly does not replace your responsibility. It actually requires it. So just keeping that in mind. It doesn't care about you. You know, we're going to train it to care about you. My big thing is brand context engineering with AI, so I don't think anybody should use AI without thinking about what they're wanting it to do and how they're wanting it to do it. Who's had that experience where you've had to repeat yourself to your AI 17 times? Isn't it supposed to save us time, right? What if we just had to do it once? You know, we do this with work all the time. We have an employee come in, you train them, you set the expectations, you have them go out, and you know, if they don't do the right job after that point, you can kind of, you know, adjust and work with them. But if you just come in and say, hey, I'd like you to do my entire social media for me, and you don't tell it who you are, why you're wanting it to do it, and what your standards are, well, you're going to have a hard time. So that's the whole thing on that, is just understanding that it does make mistakes. You know, everybody might have a different experience with how their generation comes out, but the idea is that you got to play with it. The idea is that you got to, you know, start to talk to it, start thinking more in terms of how we're talking right now. I talk to my AI like this all the time. Right? It used to be like, you are a master, you know, architect of AI design, and I need you to do that. No, just, hey, please, you know, look at my brand, and I need to do this particular task. Please look at the protocols that I've given you, and let's go. So, we're diving right in. What is Nano Banana? That's the one we're going to talk about tonight. If you've used Nano Banana, you know. It is like my favorite generative AI image tool, right? It all can be done on your phone. But they do have a couple of different ways that you can interact with Gemini, including one that I'm particularly fond of, which is anti-gravity. Another time, another talk. I'll tease that a little bit later on. But these are some of the things that you can do with Nano Banana. We can create photorealistic portraits. We can do entire photo shoots. We can do backgrounds. A lot of stuff in the business world for ads and for marketing and for just things that would help us. If we had the ability to pass it off to somebody, we would prefer to have that taken care of by a reliable, you know, entity or person. So, everyone got that? Beautiful. No one had any issues with that? Because that's really important. I want to make sure everyone at least leaves here with that, because even though I'm going to go a little fast, everything should be in there for you guys to review back on and try for yourself. So, are you ready, guys? No, you don't understand. I said, are you ready? That's what I want. I want that energy, guys. This is all about the energy. It's 8 o'clock at night or 7:30 at night on a Wednesday. I want, you know, we're going to do it. Right, so let's go. So we're going to start with some simple prompts, okay? We're just going to start with some very simple, talking to it very normally. A clean product photo of a white mug on a wooden table with soft lighting. Boom, right? I'm going to go pretty fast with this. You can do 2 pictures. So here's a guy, here's a product, here's a photo with the guy at the product. So and the prompts are down here if you guys can see them too. The man is holding the package. Now, I'm doing this for demonstration purposes. It doesn't need to know who I am or what the product is. All we're starting with is prompts that Nano Banana will understand very, very simply. Normal language. What about clothing, right? I wore the wrong thing. Grab a flat lay. Grab that same photo. Turn it into the new photo. If you've used Gemini, if you've used any of these AIs, you know the interface. There's a little chat bar, there's a plus button, you upload the photo, you say the prompt. It's pretty much that simple. And please, I will take questions. If someone's like dying to ask a question, please don't hesitate, but I will try to get to all of them there. You can, if you guys want to scan that code for some more clothing inspiration. I didn't have a whole slew of flat lays for us there, so that's that. Now, what about resizing images, right? If you have a vertical image and you want it to be wide, simply just ask it. It really is this simple. I wish I could just sit there and, you know, go through all of the layers of prompting. I know there's prompt engineering and there's, you know, did I just turn this off? No. There's all these different ways to talk to your AI, but I just like talking to it very simply. What do you need? Resize it. Great. You can change text. If you have an ad or something that you're working with and you don't really like the text, Google Nano Banana is the best at text manipulation. So a couple of examples of that there. Oh, follow Jonathan Sterritt. That started with that. So it's really, really good. And I know that there's some talk of hallucination, and it's, like I said, not always perfect, but with text, I found it to be very, very reliable. If you have an image with text on it and you want that text changed, you simply have to say, change the first line of text on the neon sign to follow. And it's just that easy. Everyone following me so far? Yeah. Very good. All right, perfect. I love this one. This one's really cool because you can do a style mashup, right? So make the pizza look like a 2D whimsical hand-drawn anime illustration. So I don't know if you can tell, but like that's anime. It's a very Roger Rabbit kind of vibe. I love that though. We got some cardboard. We got just a normal slice of pizza, right? So if you have a restaurant brand or a food brand and you need some extra images, food costs are high. So, you know, if you could avoid that extra cost by having old images of your food that you made, and, you know, you can clean it up and make it look really, really spiffy. Recipes are really cool. This one's a fun one. So take a overhead shot and say, give me the photo of all the ingredients, and it'll list it out there for you. So if you have any home chefs or people in the food industry that want to show these ingredients for their audience, this is a really good, easy way to do it. I'm not going too fast, right? Love it. All right. I don't work for Earthbreeze. I used to work for Earthbreeze, which is a laundry detergent company. And I had been in like over 1,000 ads for this company over the 5 years that I worked for them. I never got a Funko Pop, ever. But now I have one. And it's all thanks to AI. So I think it did pretty good. I even got the little pack in there. I'm digging on it. So if you've ever wanted a Funko Pop and then you know, take that over to a 3D printer and bada boom, bada bing. Now, I like to change eras like Taylor a little bit, so if you ever wanted to kind of see what life would be like in maybe a different time zone, you can, take in the same photo, guys. Everything that you see in the resource document, everything you see here, I used one base photo. And little bonus, there are 3 photos in that resource guide that are not AI. Figure it out. Styles are really cool. So, you know, you can take that one image and do N64 or like a movie style poster. You can do a Van Gogh. You can do it. Now, by the way, all I'm saying is regenerate the image of the man with, and then the thing that you want. 3D movie, Japanese anime style. Now I think this is where we start to get really cool with the ad generation, right? Take an image, make it an ad. That easy, right? And it gets better the more you train it. It gets better the more context you give it. If you have a tone of voice document, perhaps. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Are you getting the star on there now? They started a few weeks ago.
The little, which star? You mean the little watermark?
Yeah, the watermark.
There's automation to get rid of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it does have a little watermark, and like a lot of these apps like Facebook, they're making you, you know, articulate if you're using AI. And I know that even LinkedIn, I did a post a couple weeks ago, real image, but the color grade was off. So I said, hey, can you fix the color grade on this? And it did. But I posted it to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is now qualifying that as a purely generated image, AI image, which, you know, so I think there's still some ways to go with how we figure out how we regulate this and how we use this to our advantage. Again, it's not about being inauthentic. I feel like I'm really authentic, you know, most of the time. So like, you know, these are like moments not to reduce that, but it's like I want to be able to use my creativity in a way that really showcases my skill, my passion, and my possibility. So yes, there are watermarks, but I figured out how to remove them. Another one for a construction site. Yeah, I've never done construction ever in my life, but that's a cool photo. If you know, wants me to build something, I feel like I could go and market myself now as a builder. I look very, very capable in that photo.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So when I use AI and I put my face on it, it always seems to alter my face. What prompts are you using?
I got you covered. I got you covered in like maybe 2 slides, 3 slides. We're almost there. Yeah, that's a big one, right? Because like it does. If you don't, and like, you know, I've even had that sometimes. I'll go over that. Stay with me. I'll come back. What was your name?
Jay.
Jay. Nice to meet you, Jay. Any interior designers? Anybody that works with property management? Anybody in here like that? Okay, oh yeah, back there. So if you want to showcase your various homes of what it could be, you start with the dirty room and start building it up. Oh, there's some furniture, there's some mood lighting, there's a flood. So those are very simple prompts. And I like to get everyone started with that because I want you to be able to see this is accessible, right? This is easy, this is all, and Gemini is free. So if you go on Google Gemini and start playing around with this, you'll be able to do exactly some of these prompts. But to Jay's question, let's talk about when do we go in a little bit longer? You know, if we're not going to go into read my brand context and go through all the protocols that I did with my system engineering, what is the middle ground of long prompts? So we want to use that with complex scenes, multiple characters, spatial layouts, if there's very specific layouts in the space, or full environments, right? And you'll see I got a simple prompt here. I use a framework called SLCT, right? Subject, lighting, camera, text. So if you start with the subject, which I'll explain why we do that in a minute, you always want to start with what do you want Gemini to understand first. So let me go to this next slide to better articulate that. How are we doing on time? We're moving. It looks at the first thing. So if you say a stunning, cinematic, emotionally warm portrait of, all it's going to hear initially is stunning, cinematic portrait, no actual subject. A young woman wearing a red hoodie in cinematic lighting is better. Does that make sense? We want to lead with the subject. Lead with the subject, then go into your detail. It thinks of it like a recipe more than it is a prompt. So I'm going to skip that. We want you to know this. So SLCT, subject, lighting, camera, text, and details, right? What is the focus? How is the scene illuminated? What is the angle framing? This is where you start thinking about like a director, right? Like everything I do, I'm looking at it like a scene. And I'm like, all right, I kind of like got the background there. So this is a good practice. As you guys are going through some of the images on the resource page, look at it as like, what do you notice? Not just it's a picture of a man flying a kite, but like what's the background? What's the, you know, kind of space that the camera, metaphorically speaking, would have been, right? Those are all kind of things that a director thinks about. And if we think about it in these kind of terms, we're going to have a much more fluid experience generating stuff. So, to your question, Jay, if you want to lock on to a identity, there is a way to do it where you can say the face, the expression style, the skin tone, hair and color length, body type, and the overall visual identity, even when you want to change other things about it. So example, starting with that first sentence, use the person from image A and keep his spatial features, proportions, and identity the same. Place him, that's the first statement. Now, what do we want? Place him in a cozy indoor lifestyle setting, warm lighting, fireplace glow, update his outfit naturally to match the cozy indoor aesthetic while keeping the fit and structure realistic. Pretty good, yeah? I was feeling very like Matrix Vogue the other day, so I popped that one in there. Again, same thing. Rewrite the person from image A in a high fashion editorial post similar to the Runway magazine. Keep the facial identity exactly the same, right? So we're just telling it in the first sentence who it is that we want to focus on and what are we wanting to make sure we maintain. And there are tons of examples like this in there where I tried to write those into the prompts for you guys. So really all you need, and you'll see it says, use the person from reference image 1. You're going to give it reference image 1. And once you do that, it should know that this is the person we're talking about, and these are the things that we want you to do to it. So we capped a lot of stuff in like 10 minutes, right? So we can change clothing, we can remove objects, we can adjust the time of day, you could do the weather, colors, background, etc. It's all in that guide. Like I wish I had 3 hours to like hang out with you guys and like we could just play and jam. But like I think that you guys are so gonna have a blast with this month if you've never had a chance to really dive in, that there's so much that you can do. This is my last one I'll share with you. You can draw. I'm not a good artist, but like I drew that. And I was like, I want to fight a Power Ranger. Can I do it? You darn right you can. So like, this is cool. Like, you know, again, expanding your creativity. And most people would never get into any kind of art form, you know, if they didn't think that they could draw or like, you know, had any artistic skill. Well, now you can expand that creativity. You can expand what's possible because you have it in your head. You just got to get it, articulate it to something that can understand you. And in the next, I don't know if it'll do it. If you go on my Instagram tonight, I will play this. You take these images and you can make video out of them, right? So that's the next step. That's the next talk that I'll come back and we'll do part 2 about how to make video with all of these images. So go play this month and get some good static images that you're like, oh, if I could just like have that person, you know, dance or move or say something, like what would I, you know, like you start to think a little bit more outside the box. And I think that that's really cool in a tech age. And it's a cool collaborative experience. Like I think Todd was saying earlier, we need people now more than ever. And as an AI guy, I couldn't agree more. right? AI is just a tool. It's not the end-all be-all. It's not the replacement. It is just a tool that, if you get with your friends together and, like I used to build Legos as a kid with my friends, but this is like, I can build so much more now with this. So get together with someone, play, tinker, jam. That's really the only way to learn this stuff is by diving in. So go ahead and, use that photo booth on the resource page and submit your photos, like play around with it. And, we're going to turn this into something that, I think AI is like just going to make more millionaires in the next 5 years than the internet did in the last 20, is what I think. And I would love all of us to be part of that millionaire group that is utilizing this tool, not just the images, not just the video. There's so much more, guys. And I'm really excited. We're not done yet, actually, because as Lorraine was saying with Haas and myself and Tech Alley Henderson, there she is, I want to bring, a interactive experience to you guys. I want to bring a whole new way to come and network, to come and interact with the community, the show, with each other. And so this is my next attempt to do that. This is very adjacent to the photos, but this is like what I've been working on over the past few weeks. Go ahead and give that a scan. That's actually a new, do you want to come up here for this, Lorraine? You got it. Okay, I got it. This is our new kind of attempt at a dashboard. I've built something really cool. I'm not going to show it all tonight, but this is kind of like the first step. So what I'd like you to do is scan this. This is the registration for next month's Tech Alley Henderson event. So if you guys go on there, it's going to ask you to sign in through Google, and it'll ask you a few questions. And again, I kind of tried to tailor these questions a little bit more than a normal registration form, because again, all of us want to know, what do you want? How can we make this experience better for you guys? How can we come up and provide more value to you during these talks? Like, that's what we're really trying to do here, and so those questions will help us understand. Yes, sir?
So that QR code you're saying is for Tech Alley, it actually takes you to your social alignment.
Yes, it
workshop.
does. I was just going to say that.
Remember that part where I said AI makes mistakes? Remember that part earlier? Does it really?
Yeah, it does. It takes you to, and it says a social alignment to go back.
And okay,
It takes you there, and that's the wrong date.
hold on.
Maybe it's the wrong
That's the one. Just kidding. If you guys do want to check out social alignment, though, there's the place to do it. That's, I forgot. That's my fault. I was like, wait, I swore I tested. That's for upcoming workshops. If you want to join me for the upcoming workshops I have, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth Nano Banana to video course, and I'm going to be talking a lot more in the next coming months about Google's anti-gravity, which is their coding platform that I've been using to build some of this amazing, amazing front-end experiences for people. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's on the resource page. So or do you not have that either? The Notion page from earlier. I'll get with you and make sure you have the address that you need. That's not a problem. The 2 events coming up, we are locking down the final space for. So register for that, and we're going to be trying. I'm going to be trying to do workshops every month around the things that you guys want to hear about. Yes, ma'am.
Just if I modify my photos in Adobe Photoshop, would it consider AI? Or
No, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do that anymore. Like, I mean, this is like Photoshop on crack, So you don't necessarily. I mean, how much time do you spend on Photoshop?
But my point is, when you upload some photo to LinkedIn, whatever.
Oh, right. You mean like does it trigger? I think that if you use some of the AI tools from Adobe, it might trigger, but personally, I don't use Adobe anymore. So
I'm talking about generating from Gemini and then do some touch-up on Adobe to my liking.
Got you. Yeah. Is it still going to call it an AI image after the fact? Is that? Yeah, I think so. Because again, because you generated. Well, you did work on it, right? You did obviously work. It's not,
What if I spend 10 hours working on it?
You might be spending too much time on a photo. But I think that the rule of thumb is we want to be honest with the people that we're sharing these content. So if you use AI in any way, in the platform asks you, did you use AI? We should say, yeah, I used AI. It's not a negative mark. Using AI is a positive thing. It's not going anywhere, guys. It's going to change lives. It's changed my life. So I think if we embrace that in a different perspective of we're trying to avoid some sort of system of being caught. Like, yes, sir?
You use makeup?
Do I use makeup on my face?
In general, if you use makeup, you kind of alter your own appearance.
Well, Well, sure. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like if I take a photo with a camera, who's the artist, me or the camera? Maybe. I think that we all have creativity inside of us. I spend a lot of time on my creative with my AI. And because it's not like it just spits out, perfect stuff every time. Those prompts that I gave you, tested and true. But, there are times where you have to, and I'm thinking about these things. I'm placing the stuff. So to me, it's just like a different form of drawing. The pencil's not going to get credit, but there are rules and regulations that are still being fleshed out, and we don't want to, just ignore the conversation and be like, oh, well, I didn't use it. And like, no, you used it, and like how, and what was your experience like, and what did you learn, and how can that, and get the feedback. Some people might not find that people in their audience enjoy that type of content. Not a problem. There's so many other ways that AI can help, including this way. Did that one work? And we got ourselves to a page to log in and answer a few questions to sign up for the next event. If you do this, you will get a raffle ticket, which we will be spinning a digital wheel here in a second. So if you go in and you do all of that, we're going to know what you guys want to see. And there's a really cool statement in there. I don't know if you've ever heard the statement, I help blank do blank by using blank. Like your main, I call it the core alignment statement. And so this is a good practice. One of the questions in there is to do that. So think about your core alignment statement. Who do you help? With what problem? And how do you do it? And I think that it's a good practice for you guys, but it also helps us figure out how do we curate experiences for you here that talk to everybody, because that's really what it's about, this energy, this community. I love this community so much. Like, I'm just going to invest everything I have into this, because we're all here. Look at us. We're in the same room. We're jamming. This is like where Haas and I started a whole thing from this room. So it can be done, and I want to bring it to you guys as well. So go ahead and do that, and then at the end, you'll get to a success page. That success, you can be done if you want. If you want 5 extra raffle entries, though, there's one more little survey about generative AI video. If you've ever thought about wanting video into your marketing or getting a better grasp of how to use the Gen AI video portion with the images, fill out that second little bit. I'll give you 5 extra raffles for the wheel tonight. And you'll see, I guess, in the sense of the whole experience here, y'all are going to do that without me doing nothing. We're going to see a wheel, just a little bit, with all of your names on it. And we're going to spin it. It's all automated, and it's just going to make, I save time just by not having to go and write names on a wheel physically to bring to you guys and spin. So I'm very excited about it. This is just the beginning, folks. Like the photo booth, I've worked really hard to get into these tools and be on kind of the front lines of what's happening right now with at least and I'm not a coder. I never coded. I mean, if you look at that website, or just that landing page, who's spent over $5,000 on a website before? Just me? Okay, cool. Oh, okay, a couple people. Okay. But we've heard of stories of these websites and these experiences costing tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't spend tens of thousands of dollars to make what you're about to see tonight and then in the months to come. So keep that in mind. It's accessible. And I really hope that you guys got something from this tonight. Did y'all feel like you got something out of this tonight? Is this a little bit different, a little bit more? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a super basic question. I'm sorry I missed it.
Please don't.
Do you have to have Gemini to use Nano Banana?
Yeah, that is the main way to do it. Like I said, there are some other apps. If you've heard of Higgsfield, if you've heard of Krea, maybe you haven't, that's fine. Nano Banana.
First thing to get is Gemini.
Gemini's free. Yeah, you start there. Don't pay any money, right? And then as you start to get obsessed with it, you might start hitting some rate limits or usage limits. Then I think that the Pro plan is still the best Pro plan on the market right now. I pay $150 and I get all the tools, and I can build cool websites, and I can generate video, and I can generate photos, and it knows my brand and my identity and my tone of voice so well that I can just wake up and ask it something, and it will start to formulate my day's agenda or my emails for the day that I can review. It's really good for lead magnets. Yes, Mr. Sir.
It's a part of the Google ecosystem.
It is.
So you probably already have it. You just need to download the app and then log in. It's not like ChatGPT where it's its own
Yeah.
LLM. It's inside of Google.
That's exactly right. That's why I love it, because I'm a big Google guy. My whole smart home is Google. So that's really cool. If you have a smart home with Google, it starts to get some really cool stuff that when I come home, it has my music going. It's all good. But yeah. It can be scary, right? I think it's scary when you don't have control over it. And I think so many people are using this tool with no sense of control. Like they're just like, oh yeah, it's going to do all these things for me. I spent at least a year and a half learning about how to contextually train my AI before I started using it really, really heavily, right? Because I realized if it can't save you time, if it's costing you more time because you have to verify the work, we call it the verification tax, it's not worth it. I want to eliminate the verification tax. I want to increase your 3-day weekend consistency, and I want to show you all the different possibilities that are possible with AI, in under 30 minutes. So I hope you guys had a good time tonight. Please come by and support the show. Please follow us on social media. If you guys need production, if you need AI consulting, yes, sir. I got so many questions. Yes.
Just to inform everyone here, Android phones, my Verizon, Gemini AI was surreptitiously installed on the phone. I never gave them permission. I had the phone down when I was talking on a landline phone about business. And I won't describe exactly what it is, but let's say a widget. And all of a sudden, the phone activates and Gemini AI says, oh, if you're looking for widgets, we can direct you to a store in your area. And I was astounded. You see, when they install it surreptitiously, they're installing it with the microphone of your phone on at all times. So all your conversations anywhere within earshot of the phone is being recorded by Google.
Is your Android phone a Google Pixel by chance?
What?
What kind of phone do you have from Verizon? What's the brand of the phone? Is it
Samsung.
Samsung?
Galaxy.
Yeah, the Galaxy. Yeah. It's like when U2 dropped that album on our iPhones and we didn't want it, right? The U2, if you remember back in like the 2000s, anyone remember that? They dropped that album on our phones and we did not want it. I appreciate you sharing that because it is important to speak out about this because, yeah, we want to be aware of what this tool is and where it's being used and how it's being used.
Now, all these things are on default, and to turn off the microphone on your phone takes a bit of going into your settings. And then I also discovered, because it popped up, that they're reading your emails.
Yeah, they do. My
And if that's not troubling enough, they're reading all your text messages. Now, think of all the conversations you have
Yeah, it's scary.
friends, family, business people, all aspects of that are being data harvested surreptitiously by Google. Now, I don't know that there might be a class action attorney who's going to turn down this case because your privacy is being invaded without your consent because they're installing this on your phone to harvest all the data on you.
I feel like I definitely want to look more into, like you said, surreptitiously. Like not every time I've used AI, I've consented, right? It asks, like I download the app, I consent to it, right? I know that there's a little like light on the top of my phone when the microphone's being used. So I definitely will appreciate that and like go and do some more research on the deviousness of that. But
I can assure you, I've never installed Google AI. I never had any contact with on my phone with Google AI. It magically appeared on an update through Verizon. And if anyone is concerned about their privacy,
has anyone else had that happen where you like didn't realize AI was on your
They've
phone?
been listening to your
Yeah.
stuff for years.
I mean, that's my point is that we are,
To you,
like, I can't go off the grid. Like, if they wanted to find me, they'll find us, you know? So I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not advocating for that. I obviously don't work for Google, but like my point is, it's like we're having the conversation. It's important to bring this up and have the conversation because it isn't going to go anywhere. But how do we address the malfeasance of that and making sure that if we're going to invest and put our time into this tool, we feel safe? So maybe a great workshop for me to do some work on and bring to you guys so we can figure out how do we use AI safely and making sure we understand all the settings, I'll understand all the kind of user agreements that go through, you know, whether you signed it or not. But I do appreciate you bringing that up. I don't want to villainize, you know, the tool, right? You can villainize the company and we can villainize the people behind it, but the actual power of the AI, if harnessed with, you know, if I gave you a button, sir, to turn the internet off, would you do it?
Yeah.
how big a button?
It would turn off the entire internet. All internet gone for forever.
Well, that's
It's hard, right? Because there's some good things and there's some bad things. Yeah.
So, sir, I have you beat. 5 years ago, I was walking in Target and I passed an end cap that had a sale on vacuums. I didn't say anything. I thought in my brain, I need a vacuum. I should probably get one. In my brain. I said that thought to myself. The next day, I opened up my Facebook app and there were ads for vacuums.
Oh yeah.
It's not just Google. It's just not Gemini. It's Google.
It's everywhere.
It's Facebook. It's Meta.
Everywhere.
It's
You
Instagram.
can't get away from it.
It's Apple.
Yeah.
It's all of it. And it's all hidden when you sign a contract, whether it's Verizon or with Apple or Google or whoever else, it's hidden in the language. They spend billions of dollars to make sure that you're going to sign that agreement without looking at every single word. I'm telling you from experience.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, it's in all of the things that we use. If you log in to Google, then they have it. If you're like liking things on Facebook and Meta, like they're taking data, and that's what business is. We want data in your business to be able to make better actions, right?
There is features to shut that off, but you do have to go deep into the
Correct.
That's
They make it
100%
hard.
Correct. They make it very hard for you to go down there and shut it off, but there are. And by the way, you can Google how do I shut off those notifications.
Well, no, I mean, to your point, I'm gonna make it a point.
Ask AI
You can ask
that.
AI how to do it for you.
That's a whole other conversation. But I want to have a workshop because of this. Because I agree. I think it's important. I don't want to start with AI ethics and then brush this off at the end. It's important to me. AI ethics and responsible use and how we do it should be talked about. So you've inspired me to create a forum, a space where that can go into a little bit deeper and make sure we're protecting people as best as we can. Right? We're here in the present and we're with each other. So we have to utilize. We're not going to go storm Google's doors down and shut them down. We have to work on this problem together and figure out what can we do, how do we use it safely, how do we use it responsibly, and how do we make sure that any use that we're doing is, verified and consented to by us. So thank you for your question. What was your name? Mark. Nice to meet you, Mark. I appreciate that. Well, and I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for listening to the whole night, and all the guests, Lorraine. I hope to see you guys around. Come say hi to me, okay? We'll talk more. Thank you, sir.
Whoa. Jeez. Does anybody have any other questions for Jonathan before he goes? Oh, okay. Well, stay
All right, hey, let's hang out. Please.
I'll make it quick. On the landing page, have you done any security audit on the code the AI generated?
On the code that AI generated on the back end, you mean?
Yeah.
So one of the cool things, Karma Hunter's here, I think, roaming around, and I did a pitch competition where I started working with Amazon. So I actually took this to Amazon and said, hey, I'm big on the security. I know that no coder like me is not probably thinking about that. And they looked at that back end code and have given me some things to do to make sure that we have it in a really secure, safe way. Because I don't want to be taking anything from anybody that's going to put it in another realm where it can be taken. So I appreciate that question, but yes, Amazon Web Services for the win on that one. Anybody else?
Gary had a question.
Gary?
More of a comment. I know how helpful Lorraine is. Could you possibly post up both the QR codes?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, post them on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
By the way, the login page is a test environment. I think we need to do a bit of work to it because I went there and it's, I asked them too many questions up front, I think.
Well, I was telling them that we wanted to have a little bit more understanding of the experience. So maybe if there was,
Yeah.
6-7 questions
you
was
guys
too
go
much.
and scan it, obviously it's just a test. We're trying to learn what you guys want and we're trying to get more information from you. But if you don't mind taking a couple minutes to fill it out, that'd be great. We'd appreciate it. But if not, then we're working on it as we go.
You just won't get that raffle ticket.
You just won't win it.
Just won't get the
Well, I
raffle
did.
ticket.
It
Yeah.
sounds
Okay.
like
There you
a
go.
raffle
There you
ticket.
go. Yeah. Absolutely. Anybody else?
They can give us their feedback to make it better.
That's, yeah, I mean, part of the portal that we're building is I want to give you guys a space to ask each speaker on the little interactive experience a question or give feedback right in the app, right in the experience. And it's just for Tech Alley that I'm doing this. So, really thinking about all the different experiences that I've had here and how to translate that for our benefit.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Anybody else? Any questions?
How do you protect copyrights on original artwork that you may want to use?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk in the news about that. Disney just paid ChatGPT to allow all of their infringed material because people were just going ham on all of that copyrighted stuff. And again, it kind of goes back to being the ethical user. If you know that it's not your material, that you're, and you're using the raw image or the raw, thing in your art, again, you just gotta, it's all about citations, right? And it's about being ethical in here and knowing what's over the line.
As a user, I don't know.
Well, are you like taking a picture from some movie and? Oh.
Not even a movie, but
What would be like an example? Like Mickey Mouse, right?
an artist has a beautiful picture that they've drawn of a sunset, and suddenly it's in use without permission because I've taken a photo of it, but now it's combined.
Right. Oh, you've combined it with okay. I'll have two answers for that. Real simply, you've again enhanced the need for me to want to go and talk about all those different elements about security and copyright. So again, thank you to all the people that have spoken about that. Interesting. Right. So you're saying your company would flag that kind of stuff and shut it down if you saw. That's a really interesting point. Yeah, I think that. It also depends on how you're using it, right? If I'm going and taking a picture of, well, Mickey Mouse doesn't count because he's all fair game now. But in 3 years ago, if I had taken a picture of Mickey Mouse and created an image with it and then promoted my business for money on it, that would be probably no good. But if I took a picture of Mickey Mouse and I was just kind of putting it on my Instagram page to showcase this new thing I was doing, I think that would be a little less bad because I'm not trying to monetize off somebody else's work. Right? There's a great, I don't know if you know the actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He, long back in 2000, started this thing called hit record on TV. Because all art is derivative, right? Avatar is basically Fern Gully, if you guys really think about it, right? Or Pocahontas, really? So it's all art is somewhat derivative. And I think that he took a really great concept of having people put their art somewhere where other people were taking that and expanding it to the next thing. And this is kind of a version like that, but to y'all's point, it needs to be consensual. Yeah. And I'm an actor, guys. I come from Hollywood. I know that this is a big deal in even the entertainment world of how do I get my likeness to be licensed, right? And as an actor, I'm not really thinking about AI taking my job. I'm thinking about how do I make an avatar of myself and start licensing that avatar to start going around to brands and doing my work for me in that sense, because that's what they want. And it's just about knowing the right way to, protect yourself and protect what you do. And if you're doing that on your end and people are being respectful on the other end, which I know not everybody always is, but I like to believe that everyone is, uniquely good and wants the best for other people. Especially in this room, I really do think that this energy is one of collaboration and empowerment. And I really appreciate that about Tech Alley Henderson. So great points, and you will not hear, this will not be the last you hear about this from me. So I really appreciate that kind of insight and things that are important to you guys. It's important to me too, but I didn't want to bore you with ethical legal jargon tonight. I just wanted to make some cool, fun images with everybody, and I hope you got a chance to do that. So thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Jonathan. We appreciate it.
Thank you.